the city of the sun. You could have stayed, it's only over when the day is done. I never knew you was a runner, yeah. I mistook you for a son. It don't matter what we think when it's all over. 'Cause this is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice and raise your power, yeah.
Archie, is it fun?
Fun.
Fun.
After me. Ready? Happy?
Happy.
New?
New?
New.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through colored glass. Time moves on enough to let me move on past, but every little now and then it creeps on back to shape my smile.
Today is March 29, 2024. It is 12:35 a.m. This is video number 2. Video number, actually 3. Well, let's just say I started early. I started recording early. But for this video, I just want to share something, an old tweet that I responded to, and someone recently liked it, and I wanted to share it with you. These are the numbers for PYTE. I don't post too often, but $39.60 seems to be reasonable. All right, so let's go on Twitter. There's this tweet here. This is old.
Bent for her.
Oops, that's very old. It was back 2022. We are now in 2024. So I wanted to share that with you, and I have another video, another tweet to share with you regarding Invictus, but it should be on the other channel. We'll see when I edit where I'm gonna put them, where I'm gonna put the other tweet. But let's focus on this one. Revealing clip from the Gal Code podcast about the launch of Meghan's SmartSet collection for her patronage SmartWorks. Meghan spent countless hours developing the collection and launch event that were never documented in the court circular in order to keep the launch secret. Okay, so I believe there was another one. There's this one here as well, right? 1, 2, there's 3. All right, so let's go. Let's listen to it. 2 minutes and 6 seconds.
Shall we start with Meghan and Harry's
I think
Oprah
so.
interview? Okay.
What was your initial thoughts?
Well, okay, so I just want to give a little bit of backstory to this because I love Meghan Markle.
Yeah, me too.
And I have a reason for this, right? So, in one of my previous jobs, we did an event for her for the launch of one of her charity collections that she was. Is it like an ambassador that they are? Like,
yes.
Yeah, an ambassador for. And everything about this for ages was so hush-hush until launch. And the people on the team at work who were working on it were all on NDAs. Like, it was so quiet until they announced what was happening. So obviously when it announced what was happening, we're like, oh my God, like, is Meghan actually involved in this? Because with these things, you do think, do the royals just put their names to it?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh my gosh, no, she's on every conference call that we have. And we were like, oh my God, that's so good, she's actually involved. So fast forward to the event that we did, and oh my goodness, it was like the most amazing work day I've ever done. I was on duty at the door, so I was on entrance and exit. And when she like rolled up in the car and got out, and basically she was, I think, supposed to greet someone first, but she wanted to actually greet the two women who kind of created this collection. Yeah. And I was like, that's so nice. Like, she's not gone straight in with someone who's kind of dibble-dabbed in it, but is just using their name or something, if that makes any sense. She was really nice. Like, she spoke to them for, this is going to sound so ridiculous. She spoke to them a bit. Of course she spoke to them. But we all said when she got out the car, she glows. Everyone who saw her said it. She has this glowy aura around her that is magical. And I was like, I love you, Meghan Markle. Anyway, she did the event and she did her speech, and she didn't, like, her speech obviously was rehearsed. I know she's an actress. She didn't have cue cards. She just delivered it.
Yeah.
And it was...
If she's talking about the same, how do you call this? Same speech, I have it. I'll play it at the end of this, those three audios, okay? I'll share it with you, okay? Or maybe I'll insert it here. I don't know, when I'm editing.
This is more than a cookbook. And what I mean by that is the power of food is more than just the meal itself. It is the story behind it. And when you get to know the story of the recipe, you get to know the person behind it. And that's what we're talking about in terms of coming together to really engage and talk and to be able to celebrate what connects us rather than what divides us. That, I believe, is the ethos of Together. So to the women of the Hub Community Kitchen, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this adventure with you. I'm so privileged to know you. I'm so excited to see the projects you're going to continue to do in your own community, the community at large, and also how you're going to inspire people globally by sharing your stories and your recipes. It's so impactful. We can see just in a few days alone, and the book's not even out yet, what you've been able to do. That's a testament to what this means to people, and I'm so proud of you. So on that note, I know some of you started eating, as you should. I'd be the last one to want the food to get cold. So please enjoy a beautiful lunch. Another round of applause for the women of the Hub Community Kitchen, and cheers to Together. Thank you.
Let's continue.
Was spectacular. And then she stayed, so she was on, like, everything with her was like such a strict time. It was like she's arrives at this time, and then we have this at this and this, and that's it, she's gone. Like, it's such a schedule.
Yeah.
And she extended her day, like her schedule, because she wanted to.
Okay, it continues. So let's see here. Oh, there's the speech here. I have that. Okay, so I'll share it with you. Maybe I'll answer it when she mentioned it. I also got a chuckle at someone once again saying that in person, Meghan glows and has a magical quality about her. There's the laugh here. Her speech that day without note or teleprompter is still one of my favorite. And the thing is that she's participated in. She's part of the process, so it makes it easy for her. And I think Harry's speech, I don't know. If you, those who've been following the royals more than I do, if you look at Harry's speech, especially at Invictus and other thing, I'm starting to see Harry's speech is similar to Meghan's, putting some personal experiences as part of the speech and make it more, how do I say that, genuine, more fluid, more at ease and easy to listen to, like you're listening to a conversation kind of thing. Okay, so that's that. Let's continue. Further proof that the palace aides can often act more royal than the royals. While Meghan is described as lovely and graciously thanking the team behind the event, some of the palace staff are described as divas who felt they were exempt from security procedures. Okay, so let's listen. 1 minute and 37 seconds.
And that was so exciting because, like, the people at work who usually feel someone else probably wouldn't get the recognition, it would just be the top dogs that did. She actually said thank you and was really like, I really appreciate it, and was lovely. She wasn't a diva about the event or anything. And I tell you who were the rude people, because obviously I was on door, so we had security there, and it was bag search, etc. If you had liquid or makeup, you had to test your makeup on your hand just to show that it wasn't anything hazardous.
We have some call outs for people who were a bit diva-ish.
Well, the diva-ish ones were the royal advisors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, I remember I was stood there by the lift. The security guard said to the royal advisor, like, oh, can you test the makeup on your hand? Then she like scoffed at it, and I was like, are you not used to doing this? This is your life? And I was just a bit like, she was snooty. So I thought that was really interesting. And then we get back to the office, and it's chaos in the office because journalists are trying to find any negativity to do with the factory where the collection was made.
Oh my God.
So we had, I'm pretty sure one journalist had actually flown out a couple of days before to the factory and was ringing us. I'm at the factory, like, we're investigating claims that they're not being paid the national wage, slave labour.
Oh my God.
Bloody hell.
And they were digging. Obviously, they couldn't find any trace of that because it wasn't true.
Yeah.
It wasn't happening, whatever. And I was like, do you know what? This is so messed up that she's just done this, and that's what the press is saying. And I remember reading a headline, I think it was at the Daily Mail, it was like, Meghan Markle leaves event early to go and feed Archie. And I was like, she didn't leave the event early, she overstayed.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was all bullshit, like absolute bullshit.
Completely opposite of what happened. I spoke over it while she was saying it. Let me move it back for the sake of you guys. I know some of you hate that. All right, let's listen to it.
To do with the factory where the collection was made. So we had, I'm pretty sure one journalist had actually flown out a couple of days before to the factory and was ringing us. I'm at the factory, like, we're investigating claims that they're not being paid the national wage, slave labour.
Bloody hell.
And they were digging. Obviously, they couldn't find any trace of that because it wasn't true.
Yeah.
It wasn't happening, whatever. And I was like, do you know what? This is so messed up that she's just done this, and that's what the press is saying. And I remember reading a headline, I think it was at the Daily Mail, it was like, Meghan Markle leaves event early to go and feed Archie. And I was like, she didn't leave the event early, she overstayed.
Yeah.
And it was all bullshit, like absolute bullshit.
Okay, so I think there's one more. All right, let's pause. The Gal Code podcast segment is worth a listen. 1618. Credit to the host for calling out Her Meghan's praise of Her Majesty the Queen, and the Oprah interview was distorted by Piers Morgan and others. They articulate why the younger generation tend to support Meghan. Alright, so there's more here. But I'm just gonna focus on that to share with you, but I don't know. I don't wanna click on it. Is there more? No. That's ad. So let's listen to it, okay? 2 minutes and 8 seconds.
Do you know what I thought was the worst? Obviously, I assume Piers Morgan, he stayed up to watch the interview.
I doubt it.
Well, this is the thing, because then on Monday morning, he jumps on ITV and is like, I'm so angry, how dare she talk about the Queen like that, really slandering Meghan for speaking badly of the Queen. And then you watch the interview, and Meghan is nothing but complimentary of the Queen. And I'm like, did you watch it? Or are you missing the point? Like, what is going on in your head?
I just think the whole thing was that he amped everyone up so much with how awful she was that some people may not have even watched it.
Yeah.
They just believed that.
Yeah.
Or people went into that with their mind made up. You have what I think is the younger generation are very much Team Meghan on the whole, and the older generation are very much Team Establishment.
We were talking about this in the house. We think it's really weird that this older generation, because they've like witnessed Diana's death and then like William and Harry growing up, it's like they almost feel like protective of those two boys as if they're their own sons.
Yeah.
They're like, my taxpayers' money, da 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 da. I don't even think about my tax money going on the royal family whatsoever. That does not feel like I own them. Also, it doesn't go on the family, it goes on their fucking firm. That goes in that HR department's payslip, hun.
The one who refuses to help you with their mental health.
Exactly.
Cute.
And it's like, I just feel like this older gen really do feel like they own them.
Because then you have Piers Morgan should have been fired on the...
But wasn't they were saying those kind of things to Meghan? Was it you pose, they pay, and then they pose for them to take pictures of them and do whatever? But now that Harry and Meghan put a stop to it and said, no, we're not gonna do that. You're not gonna, get into our private life and all of that. And they left. But now that the others left behind, if you listen to my other videos, there's one where Bojo's sister, that was back in 2023, said something about is their freedom, they could do this, they could do that. But when Harry and Meghan were there, they were putting a limitation. But anyway, let's continue.
But for saying that he doesn't believe a word she says about how she felt suicidal.
I think it's disgusting.
And I'm really pissed off with ITV that they allowed him to quit. You should not have allowed Piers Morgan to become a victim in his own narrative and walk away from an experience. You should have released a statement that said, we do not stand for sexism and racism, and we have therefore terminated his contract. You should make a stand against it. It's not his job to remove himself from it. It's your job to stand up against it.
I completely agree.
It's the same.
It's very interesting. I never thought of it that way. That is very well put. But at the same time, this is what's happening with those establishments. They are one. They are one. And I don't know, this is why sometimes I said baggage for God. And also, in order for them to understand it, they have to experience it. Because the way that they're going about everything is just pure savage. And you could understand why when they go to other countries they create destruction. That's in their nature, and this needs to stop. This needs to stop. People cannot be nice to these people because in their core values,
you know what I thought was the word?
In their core values, all they think of is savagery. Okay, they're displaying it to us right now while we still, there's pushback. I don't know. So there's more. I just want to share whatever has been on the on Twitter. Okay, this is very old. It was back in 2022. All right, so that's it with that. I'm not gonna read any comments. And there's one more tweet that I want to share. It's regarding Invictus. All right, so I might put that on another video. I don't know, or just squeeze it here.